This is Garrett coming back to you on my YouTube channel to talk about more about fighting games and video games and stuff like that. PlayStation 4 won't let me broadcast unless I'm in a game, so we're just gonna sit here at the Street Fighter menu while I bring up something to you guys. So, I've been a fan of fighting games for a very long time. I'm sure plenty of you or some of you grew up with them in the arcades and, all that kind of fun stuff. And, if let's recap, three eras of fighting games. So before, in the 90s, we had X-Men versus Street Fighter, Marvel vs. Capcom 1, Darkstalkers, Street Fighter Alpha 3, Street Fighter Alpha 2, all those games. And it was really a really good time for fighting games. Whether you were a casual player who didn't know any better or what you were doing, or you were a hardcore head, it was just fun, and everyone really had a great time. Then we went through this era where it was kind of slow, there was nothing happening, and then Super Street Fighter 4 and Street Fighter 4 really revived that era. And I think we're in now, so there's been kind of three stages. It's kind of like dead, not much going on. I mean, really good in the 90s. Then dead. We kind of had a point where everyone was playing Third Strike and all these old fighting games and waiting for something to happen. Street Fighter 4 came out and it started this revival. And now I think we're past the revival stage of fighting games. We're in a different position. We're no longer reviving fighting games. They're here. They are here. And they're coming out rapidly. They're coming out fast. We got Street Fighter 30th. We got Tekken 7. We got Dragon Ball FighterZ. We got Street Fighter 5. We got Unio XST. We got BlazBlue Cross Tag. We got Super Smash Bros. 4 Ultimate. We got Fighting EX Lair. We've got so many games. We got Marvel Infinite. We got Marvel's Capcom 3. There's been so many fighting games that have come out over the years and really made a big hit. And if you have been around for this progression, there's no doubt that fighting games have changed. Whether you believe it's for the better or for the worse, it doesn't matter. They have changed. And they've made a shift in how they are being made. And what goes into them. Pre-release, after release, the communication between companies and patches and sponsors and all this stuff has changed. It's very different. So let's start off where it began. Like all these fighting games. If you think even Smash, Melee, years ago, huge hits. Third Strike, after it was kind of out, it wasn't really that successful at first. Kind of killed fighting games a little bit. Because there was nothing for years, but there was this high level of Third Strike, high level of Super Smash Bros. Melee that we've seen, high level of Marvel 2. It was absolutely bonkers. It was crazy. And then we had Street Fighter 4 and Ultimate Marvel 3, or Marvel 3 really make this change, give us these new games to be excited about once again. And even in the beginning stages of that, this is kind of where people started to hesitate on Capcom a little bit more towards the later end of Street Fighter 4's lifespan, early Street Fighter 5, and kind of midway in Marvel vs. Capcom 3's development. But they did some right things there as well. So what I mean by that is the DLC thing that they tried to do and the DLC changes that we've seen over the years. They've changed a lot. Fighting games nowadays, Street Fighter 30th is a wonderful example, Street Fighter 5 is a wonderful example, and Fighting EX Lair is a wonderful example, and kind of Dragon Ball FighterZ, even though some people may not agree with that or say it. Things have been coming out very bare bones, and it's very frustrating as a player, whether you are casual or whether you are hardcore. It's very frustrating to buy a product and get bare bones. It doesn't matter if you want trials and you want to practice combos. It doesn't matter if you want story mode. It doesn't matter if you want online. Whatever it is you look for as a player, there is a sense of lacking nowadays, and it's not acceptable, it's not cool, and it's not, oh, they'll patch it later. Because as we've been seeing here, Street Fighter 30th is a wonderful example. You know, they still haven't given us training mode in Alpha 2, or the other Street Fighter games, or, you know, Hyper Fighting, or, you know, Street Fighter Alpha 1. You know, these things that people really want, whether you're hardcore or casual, I'm going to keep saying that, is we're missing content, and we're missing things that make us happy. Street Fighter 5 came out, and that game was a disaster, and we all know it. But now people are like, well, 2 years later it's really good, and that's not acceptable, and that's not good. Don't stick up for games. Fighting EX Layer has come out. There's no single player. It's just go online, and it works. From what I have heard, it works, which is great. But we're getting these bare bones half-ass content across the board, and it's really only happening in fighting games, really. If you look at Madden, or you look at FIFA, or you look at Grand Theft Auto, or you look at Guitar Hero, or you look at any other genre, where, you know, they're delivering, or they're close to it. You know, like Call of Duty, okay, yeah, you got to pay loot boxes on all this shit, and, you know, they're kind of skimming on it. But generally, as a Call of Duty fan, you buy the game, you're impressed. You bought Overwatch, you're generally pretty happy. You know, you bought Halo, you're generally pretty fucking happy. You know, any game that you purchase, you know, God of War was a fantastic example. You know, good game, like, good content. You know, not too much, doesn't have to have a billion features, but features in the way that fighting games are presented now fucking sucks. It's just not fun anymore. It's just not a pleasant experience. You know, I recall those days where you'd watch Capcom trailers for Street Fighter 4, and they're revealing Ibuki and Dudley, and you were hyped, or you saw Hakan and you heard the sounds and you were hyped. There was excitement. Or when you knew that they were going to bring out Phoenix Wright and Ultimate Marvel, you're like, oh yeah, and you were excited for what a company was giving you. Whereas now they reveal content for games, and you're like, well, I hope they don't screw it up. Ugh, we've been having the shitty Season 3 characters, and I don't like Falk, and I don't like this. And people are kind of just still playing these games. You know, we're kind of like waiting for a Dragon Ball FighterZ patch of some sort, and we haven't really gotten it. You know, the game is very offensive based. A lot of people would agree that the game needs some defensive mechanics balanced, and same thing with Street Fighter 5. Blaze Blue cross tag, there's some issues there. I'm not too big on the community. I'm not going to say like I know what I'm talking about there, because I don't. But there's just a lot of issues that, and Street Fighter 30th, like here, is a perfect example, as I said before, is things that just aren't working. And we need things to work, and it's not acceptable. Then on the other side of this, we have the battle of casual versus hardcore players. You know, making a game too casual or making it too basic. And it's very frustrating because the hardcore players, we want to keep our game hardcore. We want to keep it in depth. We want to keep those footsies in Street Fighter. We want to have Advancing Guard in Ultimate Marvel. We want to feel like if we read what our opponents are doing and we know that it's coming, and you want to stop something, that you can do something about that. And I think that that's something that these new games are lacking, is something to just make the hardcore head feel okay, feel satisfied. Because we could all do these new combos in Dragon Ball FighterZ, or in Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite, or in Street Fighter 5, or in Uniel, or in this, maybe not Uniel, because that game's actually really technical, but Blaze Blue cross tag. Like, I can just get the same amount of damage mashing the H button as somebody who's doing an advanced assist call combo. Maybe they get an extra 200 more damage or something for a lot more effort. And I think that looking back, Street Fighter 4, it really was a big deal, and people gave it shit at the time. You know, oh, mash jab, do a combo, okay, or, you know, Vortex. But is Street Fighter 5 really different? than that. I mean, it seems like Street Fighter V is pretty much all vortex guessy. You know, that's pretty much what it has become. And I feel like these games that keep getting pumped out, like Street Fighter V, I already talked about Street Fighter 6, we got Soul Calibur 6 coming, we got Fighting EX Layer coming, we got Smash 4 Ultimate coming, we got all these games, we got Street Fighter 30th, oh, I want to play that at a tournament, oh, we got Mortal Kombat 11's coming up, oh my god, that's coming. Who has time to play all of these games? Who is going to dedicate all their time to all of these games and be like, yep, I'm going to play them all. Yep, I want BlazBlue Cross Tag. Yep, I'm going to play Street Fighter 5. Yep, I'm going to play BlazBlue Cross Tag. I'm going to play all these things. And we have so many options, right? We have so many games. You can play like 10 different games. Tekken, BlazBlue, Street Fighter, whatever. But when you have too many options, you lose focus of the quality of the products. And the games don't last that long. They don't grow. They don't nourish. They don't evolve the metagame anymore because we're moving on too quickly. We're picking, oh, Street Fighter 5's out. Okay, I'm going to play that. Oh, they just updated Marvel. I'm going to head back to Marvel. Oh, okay, well, all right, well, Street Fighter 5, I'm going to put that on the back burner for a little bit. Oh, they just released Cody. I'm going to go play, Cody's out now. Oh, Dragon Ball Fighter Z. All right, they're going to put Vegito out. All right, I'm going to hop on Dragon Ball Fighter Z for 2 weeks. And then it's like, but you're not going to grow a game. You're not going to dig that depth of it. And that's what the hardcore players do. Is they dig into a game. They want to learn the game. They want to know the matchups. They want to know all the intricacies of something. It's not, oh, I did a combo. I know my combo. I'm going to memorize my combo, and I'm going to memorize my situation. And then when you start beating my strategy, I don't know what to do. That's not a hardcore player. And that's why I feel like the fighting game communities are moving more casual, because we're not dedicating anymore. We're not dedicating to these games. We're just playing what everyone else is playing, and we're hopping back and forth like the next Guitar Hero that comes out or the next Madden. We're not playing the games anymore. We're not sitting and dedicating. We're not sitting down and playing chess and learning all of the different setups and intricacies anymore. We're just playing the next game. Like, we're always like, that's the next one, this is the next one, this is the next one. And we're hopping back and forth with this. And we're not playing something because we love it. We're playing something because it's what everyone else is playing, and it's the new thing, and it's this and that. And we're trending. It's a trend. It's not a passion. It's not something that we believe in. It's something we're doing because everyone else is doing it. And that's not hardcore fighting games. That's not competitive fighting games. That's, I want money and I'm just going to go where all the money is. You know, there are still people to this day that play on Fightcade, that dedicate themselves to the games that they love, and they have a passion for what they love and what they believe in. You know, if you go on Street Fighter 4 on PS4, you have to go on Discord to find games. You have to like dig and search for players. Unless it's the newest thing, it's hard. You know, it's very tough. But, you know, today, to this day, you can talk to Melee players online and be like, hey, I'm coming, I'm local in town, let's play Melee. And people will do that. You know, they'll meet up with you. They'll say, yeah, come by my house. Like, we'll play some games and this and that. Good luck ever doing that now with Street Fighter V. Or good luck ever really doing that. It's tournaments and prize pots and all this stuff, and we're losing sight of why we played these things in the first place. To have fun, to really enjoy these games. And this competitiveness and this craziness, it's being lost because we're not playing the games anymore because we love the games. We're playing the games and we're hoping that the companies fix them, but we know in the back of our minds they never will. We know that Capcom is never going to fix Street Fighter 30th Anniversary and give us Alpha 2 online. We know it. We totally know it. And we totally know they're never going to give us Alpha 1 online or any of the other games that we want. They're not going to patch it. They're not going to give us the micros, the macros. They're not going to do any of that stuff because all they care about now is they care about the money. Whereas when Street Fighter 4 came out, they had a reason to listen to us. They wanted it to be successful. They didn't know how far they could push it. Now they know. Now they get it. Now they're just releasing DLC and milking it for money because they know they already caught the brand. They've caught us again. And Street Fighter needs to die. So all these games need to die so that when it comes back, it could be strong again, like it was for Street Fighter 4. These games need to go. It needs to dry up because we need to do better. The hardcore community, these people, all of us that play these games, the ones that love these games, we need to do better. We really do need to do better. And this includes playing things that we love, and letting go of something. Letting go of these games and just realizing that it's changed. This isn't hardcore anymore. It's not. And online, that's another thing. The online experiences have gotten worse with rage quitters everywhere, all the time. You can't even play the games anymore. You can't get good connections on PS4. It's even sometimes a struggle on Steam, if you have Steam. I have both. But I think that the games are just so constant. They're so constant that we lose sight of growing them. We're not growing them. They're growing based on the manufacturers and the companies that develop these games. They tell us how we play them. We're not controlling that anymore. We're not playing these games. We need to stay on a game. We need to stay on a game and stick there. Whether it be 30th anniversary, whether it be Street Fighter 5, although I hate that game, whether it be Dragon Ball, whatever it is, we need to stick to it. And we need to show companies that we're not going to move until we see that quality again. We're not just going to hop on a game and hope it's going to get better. We got to know that it's going to be better. We have to stick with something and say, hey, buddy, I'm not moving off my seat right here until I know that I'm going to see some quality. And I'm not buying any more fucking DLC or any of your stupid fight money, garbage, scams where you keep sucking money away from us to make more money on that side. So that's my splurge. That's my rant for a little bit. Hope you guys appreciate it. Pick a game and stick to it. Really stick to it. I still to this day play Street Fighter 4. I do not go to tournaments for Street Fighter 5. I hate that game. I do not really play Dragon Ball FighterZ. I play it casually. I enjoy it. But my hardcore game to this day has been Street Fighter 4. I love it. I tried 5, I gave it a whirl, and I gave up. Because I stick to what I love. I stick to what I believe in, and I stick to what I enjoy. In the deepest, darkest holes of your hearts, you all have a game that you love and you worship, and that's your favorite. Play that. Play the game that means the most to you as a player. Don't play what means the most to everyone else. Play what makes you happy. And if you do that, if we all do that, whether it be Street Fighter 4, whether it be Dragon Ball, whether it be Tekken, whatever it is, as long as you play the game that makes you happy and you dig deep in that game and you explore that game and you love that game, then that community is going to grow. It's all going to grow. It's all going to do the right thing. But if we all keep going towards just the newest shit and we all send that prayer that it's going to be fine, we're going to be keeping this shitty fucking position. So that's my rant. That's the end. Thanks, guys. I hope you appreciate it.